everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today is Thursday, June 18th, 2026. Two since the report dropped about the abuse of girls in the UK. And of course, I like studying this psyop going on with Harry and Meghan and how how they're handling things. And the silence is deafening, of course, from the royal family and Harry and Meghan on this topic, although they're very quick to pipe up about censoring everybody online with the Child Safety Act, which doesn't keep any child safe. And no one in the mainstream media has called Harry and Meghan out about the scam they pulled on everyone with those tombstones, lost screens scam that they pulled. But anyways, since it's day two, I decided, Harry and Meghan, when they don't speak out, they do speak out through their Sussex squad. So I went to check out to see what they have to say about these little white girls being abused and tortured and killed in cases. And of course, they're completely silent, just like Harry and Meghan. Obviously, they're under orders to not talk about it. Not one of them has tweeted about the exact report or addressed it or whatever. Instead, what they've done today on June 18th is they have decided to fight back by posting pictures of white pedophiles, like as if we didn't know they existed, which of course we do, which is why many people pointed out that this censoring under 16s off of every platform except the Blue Sky, which does have these types of people on it, was pointed out so quickly. So, but that this is I guess the only way that they could think to fight back was to say, well, there's white pedophiles, and they're completely ignoring the fact that, yes, of course, there are pedophiles of all, colors and ages and whatnot, but they're all Satanists usually. But the whole, Freemason satanic group is known for this. However, factor in the illegal invasion of these groups in the UK that have turned it into a decades of grooming and torturing and raping. So that's really not doing this. It's not. They're turning it into a race war, basically, because this is what Harry and Meghan do. It's always about race baiting. So they're saying, oh, well, you're saying this about these Middle Easterners. Well, here we got some white ones. Yeah, but these white ones didn't invade a black country and torture and kill the black girls in there, right? That's, these are, not, this is not a race issue. This is a sexual predator issue. This is an illegal invasion issue. And this is also a religious issue because, again, in the report that I looked at yesterday, you can download and read the report that they wrote about this in the UK is that these men justify their actions based on their religion, saying it's okay in our religion and in our law. So, so this is a much bigger problem and something else that really needs to be aggressively corrected because they're justifying their actions. At least these pedophiles over here, what they're doing is illegal and they've been arrested, right? They're not pushing back and saying, well, it's our religion, so back off, right? So this one, Sussex Squatter retweeted. They're claiming that Trader Tommy and the rest of the far right couldn't care less about children's safety. Really, it's quite the opposite, anyways, in my opinion. But however, all they care about is whipping up fear and hatred about immigrants and Muslims. See, here we go. It's all racism. You're just doing it because you hate Muslims. That's it. See how they're twisting this? So evil. It doesn't serve their purpose. And the 7 victims of age 12 and younger, systemic shocking child abuse. So, so they're just putting out this picture of these pedophiles. However, they're completely trying to justify Muslims doing it by, if you complain about Muslims raping your children, you're just a racist. Can you believe this is how Harry and Meghan's Sussex squad think? This is how they think. This is how Harry and Meghan are pushing back. Another Sussex squatter said, this case is heartbreaking and shocking at the same time. Oh, so now they're going back and talking about that boy, that beautiful little white boy that was was given to two gay men actually who sexually abused and killed the child. So he was adopted by a gay couple. They abused him and he died, only 13 months old. Yeah. So I don't know why they think this is like a pushback to say this. I mean, obvious Satanists and, just evil as well, but this certainly doesn't counteract, or this is not, again, they're trying to make it about race, it looks like. And here's another third Sussex Squad tweet they put up. So they're really putting up white faces, trying to turn this into a race baiting battle. So Harry and Meghan are still race baiting, and they're even using this child exploitation and child trafficking and trying to turn it into a race issue, which is really disgusting and evil. This one is talking about Jamie Varney. It's the same story. This is the gay couple that adopted a 13-month-old Preston Davy, little beautiful 13-month-old baby boy who is now dead because they tortured and killed him and sexually abused him. So, yeah, there you have it. This is how Harry and Meghan's Sussex Squad are responding to the child trafficking, the grooming gang inquiry. They're trying to turn this into a race issue. So once again, Meghan Markle is race baiting, just like she did against the royal family, just like she did with BLM, against white Americans. They're still trying to flip this into a race thing instead of dealing with the issue in general. And, you would think the Sussex Squad would have the common sense to try to do the decent right thing here. I mean, there's to try to push back against children being tortured like this and trying to justify it because they're white is really evil stuff. And that's what Harry and Meghan's Sussex Squad are doing, while Harry and Meghan remain silent, as so many others. I just point this all out to take note of how Harry and Meghan operate with their Sussex Squad, with this globalist takedown of Western culture, and how they're doing it, and not to fall for it, and to see how disgusting and evil and vile they really are. On a positive note, I've been reading this book, and if you're a tarot reader, I think you'll really like this book. I'm loving it so far. I've just started reading it, and I've gotten some great ideas in here that I'm just like, wow. She focuses on improving your intuitive or psychic abilities and how she's done that over the years. I mean, she's a very experienced tarot reader for decades. And something she brought up, is the usual meditation, which I do need to get better with that, doing that more often, and journaling, of course. She also brought up a story that she experienced with dealing with a tarot deck that was difficult to read. We all have tarot decks that we bought them because the art was so pretty, but we just had to get it. But then we started trying to read with it. It was like it didn't have the usual symbolisms, or very little symbolisms at all, or nothing that you're used to. And you try to do a reading with it, and you just get flustered because you don't have the usual things to pull from, the symbologies and the archetypes and whatnot. So you just sort of just put the deck aside, like, I can't read with that. I can't connect with it. Right. And so normally some people will give those decks away. Like, I can't connect to this deck. I'm just going to clear it out, give it away, or whatnot. However, I would hesitate to do so. I would warn not to, because in this book, she's talking about the fact that she had a deck like that, the Art Nouveau Tarot, beautiful deck. And in fact, that's why I didn't buy it. I did get the Art Nouveau gold tarot because I love the gold foil on it. I'm glad I did. Beautiful deck. But she was saying that when she did a reading with it, she felt that flustered, but she said she gave the most psychic reading with that deck that she had connected to so well. And she realized the reason for that is because her rational mind, when you're looking at the symbols and connecting with the cards, that's a very rational way of thinking. You're seeing what's there, you're responding to it intellectually, but not psychically, not intuitively. But when you don't have those anchor points, those conscious, rational anchor points, and you just get these pictures that don't make so much sense for the card, you're not sure what to make sense of it because it's so different or artistic and not related to Rider-Waite symbologies and whatnot, then you have to let go of the rational connections and just trust your intuition. And that's why, even though it feels more difficult to read with these decks, but at the same time, because you're not using your rational mind so much, you have to just completely go with intuition. Then she found she got some of her best readings, even though they weren't the most comfortable readings, right? So I thought, wow, that is so great. And I've had that experience as well. There is this deck. I have quite a few decks that I would say I don't connect with as well because again the symbology's on it, and one of them is like the Marseille type decks, like this one, the Swiss tarot decks. I got a few decks here that I've always found harder to connect to because when you've got these pip decks, the symbols are different. It's not. I remember, I don't know, it was a long time ago now, but I did a relationship reading of Pamela Lee Anderson. At the time, it was a big story about her and her boyfriend. I guess they were breaking up. And I could see in the readings with these cards that they were going to break up. I believe that was the answer. Whatever the answer I got was accurate. And I used these cards and it was difficult. I mean, because it's got a lot of, it's pip decks basically. I always struggle to connect with those. But now I'm realizing, don't throw out those pip decks because guess what? You may get some of your best psychic readings with those, even if you may struggle with them, using or connecting with them. So definitely worthwhile. I remember being struck by that. I'm like, wow, that deck was so difficult to connect to. And yeah, I got an accurate reading, really accurate. So I thought, wow. So you know what I'm going to do today? I brought out some of my most difficult to connect with decks. This is one of them, the Swiss tarot deck, it's like a Marseille deck. And I also have my White Sage Tarot. I love the artwork on here. It's so beautiful and calming. But again, it's not at all connected to Rider Waite at all. It's completely different. I mean, it's got the same cards as a traditional tarot, but again, it's like hip deckish and it's got, birds and shells and it's just feathers. It's like the symbologies of it is just so different that found it, but again, I got good readings with these, and now I know why. So just something to keep in mind, it's just like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. So keep those decks that you find difficult to connect to. Third one that I love all these decks, and they're not so easy to connect to. But again, I'm going to start using these a little more often, and for now, and test this theory out that I may just get better, accurate readings. This is the Paulina Tarot, and it's also beautiful, beautiful artwork. So unique and original, slightly, somewhat aligned with Rider Waite, but completely different in other cards. And I just love the artwork on these. There's other decks like this, I'm sure you're familiar with, that have the same idea. They're just beautiful cards, but so different. And it can be, there's like a lot of details in some of them. You're like, difficult to focus on. You're like, what is this I'm seeing here? There's like so many things going on. But I think that again, this could be the secret to getting the most accurate readings. Just get that deck out that you find the most difficult to connect and see what happens. You may be surprised. Let's just throw a few cards about Harry and Meghan and their online terrorist group, the Sussex Squad, and see if I think they're race baiting. I think they're trying to turn this into a race issue so that Meghan could go back to the UK and play the victim again and go back and support Grenfell Towers. I got a very good comment. Thank you to the commenter who pointed out that Meghan is always aligning herself with deaths of children, as we know, Uvalde, but not just deaths of children, also with Grenfell Tower, the deaths of people there, and always Harry and Meghan posing for pictures in a cemetery in the U.S. walking around, and also Harry in the Ukraine walking around the memorials for all the people who have died. Harry and Meghan are always around death. They love to glorify themselves surrounded by death. They are part of a death satanic cult, very evil, but they always focused on Princess Diana's death. So it's always about death, death, death. And of course, with the Parents Network, that scam with the lost screen scams, again, they were capitalizing and exploiting deaths. Many of them, almost half, were adults and would have nothing to do with Child Safety Act. Wouldn't have nothing, not saved them at all because they were all over. Most of them were over 16. So I mean, but it's always about death. Harry and Meghan are always sinking their claws into deaths and try to exploit deaths. And my theory is because they're satanic and they're trying to get the essence, whether it's Princess Diana or Uvalde or just anyone, any dead people anywhere. They want to suck off somehow that death and try to use that spiritual energy. It's very satanic vampirism going on, in my opinion. So let's take a look here. The first question I'm going to ask is Harry and Meghan encouraging the Sussex Squad to turn this into a race issue? Or are the Sussex Squad doing this on their own? I don't think the Sussex Squad do anything on their own. I think they're part of the PR strategy, but let's see. What do I get here? Okay, the first card I get, Four of Wands. Oh my goodness. Celebration here. You see the woman wearing the party hat up there? That's Meghan on her platform. And she is uh, looking at her. That's her Meghan with her Sussex squad. Okay. Meghan's got her party hat on. Look at me. She's got her support of this foundation, of this group, this online terrorist group. And she's using it to just try to make herself look like the princess, the queen, the perfect one. Everyone, she's the victim of everyone, the royal family and racists and everyone who's against her. But they keep propping her up in an unnatural, you know, propagandist way to try to make her seem perfect, right? So Meghan, they're still doing that. They're still always tweeting stuff to make her look perfect, whether it's with AI pics and whatever else. They try to make it seem like she's just the perfect princess. That she's the real queen, KWEN, right? So yeah, so Meghan is still very much propped up by the Sussex squad, and that's the only reason she gets any attention online. Positive attention is because of them. And but she trying to make this a race issue. Of course, Meghan has to be somehow they've got what they do. They've got to glorify Meghan unnaturally, and whatever way they got to twist it, they got to put her on top, right? Oh, Page of Cups reversed. So this is very sad news pertaining to children because there's information, but also children, and taking this very sad, upsetting news and trying to use that to prop up Meghan. They're like trying to figure out this is why they're doing this. They're like, well, how can we? So one way they're doing it, of course, is accusing anyone who criticizes Meghan of going after the children, particularly her children, and being. They're accusing Megxit side people of, or anyone who criticizes Harry and Meghan. I call it Megxit. Even though it's not a community, it's just people who can see the lies and deceptions of Harry and Meghan. But anyways, yeah, they're taking this very sad news about children being trafficked with this grooming gang, and they are taking it to beautify Meghan here to try to make her look better. And I get Three of Wands reversed, which is being destructive, and because three is a creative number when it's upright, but reversed is being power of three, very satanic evil spell, and just being destructive. And then I get the Eight of Swords reversed to this trying to release themselves and Meghan from this news story. I see the Eight of Swords here as Meghan being surrounded by this news and what she's not responding to, and they're trying to release her from that and saying and being destructive to this narrative. It's always about attacking the narrative, right? Because it's all PR and the sad news to prop her up as the victim. The only victim, right, is always Meghan, right? Her lies. So yeah, so I do think that they are trying to flip the script here. They're for sure trying to flip it in her favor. The only upright card is her. So they're using this bad news, destructive news to try to destroy the story and try to release Meghan from having to bear any responsibility or need to respond to anything. And they're using it. They're flipping the script here. They're trying to make it a racist issue again. Oh yeah, King of Swords. Yes. So lying, the massive lying of her and her group. King is like a group and a decision from the top. As Harry and Meghan do, tell their Sussex squad what to do from the top and direct them going down. So yes, so they're going to be lying. They're going to say whatever lie, whatever distortion, whatever evil, criminal. King of Swords versus a criminal organization, which the Harry and Meghan and their Sussex squad are online terror group. So yes, this is an organized lying about a very sensitive, upsetting topic and trying to destroy by distracting, by trying to divert the narrative. Yeah, with something new. They're trying to flip it around and say, no, this is what it's about. It's about you being a racist for being upset about white girls being raped and killed, right? So wow, they really are trying to turn it into a new attack that benefits their princess there. Wow, yeah, I'm Page of Wands putting out their new message online on social media, being very aggressive and making it all about this new idea. You can see kind of he's holding up, he's got like an antenna and the Wi-Fi there, or whatever, the message going out. Here's the new message from Meghan and Harry's Sussex Squad, and that is Meghan is perfect, and she has nothing to do with this, and all of this going on, this destruction going on, it has nothing to do with her. It's because you're racist. It's all your racist fault. Wow, wow. And you see clinging on here. And they also being very destructive towards the royal family as well, trying to take them down at the same time with their attacks. Yeah, I think it is very racist, and it is using racism to try to flip a new narrative here. Like, oh, no, 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 it's not about British white girls being groomed and attacked and raped and tortured. No, 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 it's about racism. That's the new story. That's what we're putting out there with our tweets. Yeah, it's about white people, and we're trying to destroy society here with the four of coins reverse. We're trying to destroy um your narrative. Right? It's all about the narrative with these Satanists, with this criminal gang here, King of Swords reverse. It's all about the narrative, and they will lie and be as destructive and evil as possible. Let me try a different deck, different difficult to read deck. Although I love it, the White Sage Tarot. I do love this deck. So pretty. So let's see. I've gotten good readings with this one too. All right. Because just like she said, you gotta go on your intuition. So why do the Sussex Squad, besides being Satanists, why do they support Harry and Meghan, twisting everything into about racism? Why do they do this? Star reversed. Because they're very depressed, mentally ill individuals with no hope for the future. So it's like a big demon, doesn't it? Like a demon head down there. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing this as right now. They want to take away people's hope, which of course is part of this, and distort reality and distort our path of Christian nations. And they want to take away hope. I mean, this is part of the whole agenda, is to have everybody lose faith in their institutions and whatnot. So they want that. And it's also the star here. This is actually, if you look at it, it's what do you call it? When you sage the cards, it's sage here. So it's very spiritual. It's very reversed. It's very evil, satanic, spiritual nature. Oh, and I also got the moon reversed with this Egyptian looking bird there. So again, we're getting a lot of magic here, a lot of evil, satanic magic here. And we did just have a new moon on Sunday as well, which also I found interesting in setting all these events off. So just this past Sunday, we had a new moon at 24 Gemini. Gemini, of course, is information, young people's Mercury. And this report came out 2 days ago on Tuesday. So it was following this new moon that they're bursting out with this new report. And I kind of get that with this moon here. That new moon there was magic, witchery, sorcery they put around this when they were releasing it right after a new moon. That's also part of it. Meghan and Harry are very much about, and their Satanists are very much about doing things on new and full moons. And I do believe there's a lot of evil here. So I'm asking why Harry and Meghan Sussex Squad do this, because they're all Satanists and they're all practicing their witch work here, and they're all part of their ceremonies of Harry and Meghan. They support Harry and Meghan, and not only through tweeting, but through their satanic spell work. They're all doing it with her. So they knew that this was coming up. Harry and Meghan would have known. So they were, this is turning things upside down, turning the narrative upside down, kind of frame it in a new perspective. And of course, the new perspective always has to have Harry and Meghan as the victim, right? So they knew this was coming and how they were going to try to twist this. Gemini is talking stories as well. So they knew that because they're all Satanists, they are all just evil. They all went along with the major arcana, all three major arcanas here. So a large group that works together in a very evil agenda. And so they're all Satanists. Again, another major arcana, Fool, doing something new here, playing dumb, playing like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. This is just about Tower reversed. Oh my goodness. Always about destruction and trying to destroy the narrative, but then rebuild it. You can also look at the rebuilding reversed with a new narrative, Fool and Tower. So they're taking the destruction of Western civilization and white people here and saying, oh, here's the news story of what's actually going on. It's actually, you're just all racists, and that's why it's happening. So, wow. Major arcana, major arcana, major arcana, major arcana, major arcana. Large group. And it's not just Harry and Meghan and their Sussex squad, it's their whole satanic cabal there with Hillary Clinton, Obama, and all that's all connected. And yeah, this is their job. This is their job. And they enjoy being evil. They enjoy making the truth false and lies, and making the lies true, and claiming the lies are true. Pure Satanism. This is what they're up to, and this is what they are. They're all part of it. Yeah. And Wheel of Fortune reverse, another major arcana. They want to destroy again with the Egyptian mythology. They want to destroy and bring out chaos. You know, chaos is a big part of this as well, making everybody crazy and not disturbed here. And another major arcana, getting the power from this as well as satanic power of the chaos that they're creating. These cards were shuffled. Okay, shuffled these cards, and these all major arcanas coming up. This is big. This is like BLM. Big as far as worldwide in their influence and what the globalist changes they're doing. Bring in chaos to give them strength. They get strength from the chaos that they create with this by the inversions, right? Satanism is all about inverting things, accusing you of what they're doing and claiming what happened isn't what happened. It's the inverse, right? Everything's the reverse. So, wow. They're a very evil group. Again, major arcanas, it's a large group working together and going on the same narratives and destroying Christian societies and the Western world and bringing in the satanic New World Order and flipping every script, flipping everything, making it all about racism, anti-white racism, and justifying that. I mean, they go so far as to say, "Oh, if you're black, you can't be racist. Only white people can be racist." I mean, the inversions in their minds of everything. They're pushing it because they're just pure evil, absolute evil, and they think it's right. They think it's right. Three of Wands being destructive again. Knight of Swords reversed. The lies, attacks, the deaths. They want people dead. They love that idea. Chariot reversed. They want a political card. They want to stop the black and white here. Things have been going well, but with the race issues were not an issue until they started this, and they're trying to tear people down with this. The Chariot reversed. And Ace of Cups, and bring out a lot of sadness and pain and suffering, particularly around children, births. Abortion issues are also a big one for them. They love abortion. This has been ongoing with the Satanists. They just love killing and harming children, and the Sussex Squad are aligned with that, is what I'm getting here. Yeah, very evil stuff. Very evil and very ancient group. You know, with the Egyptian symbology here, this is really going to ancient Masonic, satanic, with sorcery and witchcraft and whatever you want to call it, is really long-standing evil of an organized fashion that is, global. Yeah, so this is, part of it. And yes, I do get that it is the race issue. They are purposefully dividing the races, with the chariot reversed. It's very clear. They're going to continue that satanic agenda of being as racist and divisive as possible. Of course, being divisive is very much a part of what Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad are doing and continue to do, as well as all of their satanic Marxist communist buddies. So there you have it. That is what I see. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.